Welcome to Let's Talk, the Washington Informer's weekly program that discusses issues that matter. I'm your host, Denise Rollard Barnes, publisher of the Washington Informer, and I hope you've had a chance to pick up your copy of this week's Washington Informer at a newsstand somewhere close to your area if you're in the DMV. You know, we're at about 600 and some locations across the district. And, for those of us who still like print editions, we certainly are proud that we're able to keep supplying you with that print issue every week. And so we hope that you'll pick it up and share it with those after you finish reading it. And of course, if you tear out pages, which we hope you will, and save things that are in there, you might have to pick up 2 copies so that you can share a complete copy with someone that you know or a good friend. But if you just like to read the paper online, you can read it at our digital edition or on our website at washingtoninformer.com. Again, that is washingtoninformer.com. And that's our website. You can see all of our news and photos and everything that we've been covering over the past week. And I think I shared that with you that we just turned 59 years old on October the 16th. So you can go back and see a whole bunch of issues there and read a lot of stories. But go there and you can get access to our digital edition. If you're already a part of our Informer family, we want you to tell your neighbors to go to the website or pick up the copy of the paper as well. And while you're watching today, please share this broadcast on your social media platforms. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, Threads. We just launched on Nextdoor as well as on YouTube. And we would really, really strongly ask that you follow us, like us, respond to us, tell us what you're thinking on all of those platforms, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Washington Informer TV. No spaces, just Washington Informer TV. There you can see a lot of our past programs. It's hard to believe that this COVID baby that we came up with called Win TV, that we've now transformed to Let's Talk, taken from actually the column that my father wrote in the Washington Informer, Dr. Calvin Rollard, for so very long. So again, this is Let's Talk, and just hope that you'll continue to stay with us every Friday or look at, as I said, past programs, because there's so many great folks that we've talked to over the past has it been 4 years, shall we? Almost 4 years. It's amazing. Anyway, today we have a packed show with some great folks who have some great information to share. We'll be talking to Carrie Clark, who is the executive director of the Family Life Center at Greater Mount Calvary Holy Church in Northeast DC. And we're going to talk about their efforts, Project Feed, to feed 5,000. Now, they've been feeding, it's called Project Feed 5,000. We're going to talk about the numbers of families that this project has been supporting throughout the city and families that it's supporting. So we look forward to talking to Carrie. Last month was Cybersecurity Awareness Month, but that doesn't matter, because as we go into the holiday season, and more of us are online and we're using our credit cards and we're purchasing this, that, and the other, or just our emails, our social media, we're going to have Information Systems Security Manager Keith Collins, who's going to talk to us about how we can protect our digital profile. So we didn't do it in October. We don't have to, because this is an issue that impacts us, and we'll be doing more so as time goes on. So we're so glad that he's going to join us, as well as attorney Amy Griffin of the Life and Legacy Counselors of the Griffin firm. We're about to celebrate Veterans Day, and they have a very, very good program that's coming up soon called, what is it? We don't have the title here, but anyway, it's an event on wills and estates for veterans. And so they have a goal of helping veterans to, I think it's called Wills for Heroes. Attorney Griffin will tell us about that, but I think it's Wills for Heroes. And it's really helping a program that will help veterans to get their estates in order, which we all should be doing at the same time. I don't know if you all have had a chance to see the movie out now, Martin Scorsese's film, Killers of the Flower Moon, but our very own harmonicist, Frederick Yonay, is the featured on the soundtrack of this film, harmonicist Frederick Yonay, and he's going to be with us today to talk about not only that film, other work that he's done, the culture, history, and culture of the harmonica, particularly as it relates to African Americans, and an upcoming performance at the Carlisle Room. So you don't want to miss that. And then last but not least, October was Women's Business Month. We're trying to catch up on last month's stuff this month. But anyway, October was Women's Business Month, and we're very proud to have Daryl McKissick with us. She's the founder, chairwoman, and chief executive officer of McKissick and McKissick, a national architecture, engineering program, and construction management firm. So she's a trailblazing business owner, architect, and done a lot in the industry. So we look forward to having a chat with her. So we're going to move on and have our weekly news broadcast by Curtis Knowles.
This is WIN TV News, bringing you the news that matters. An executive order was signed Monday by President Joe Biden with the intent of focusing on America's responsible use of artificial intelligence. Stephen Benjamin, senior advisor to the president and director of the Office of Public Engagement, said, quote, "The president has been very clear that we have an obligation not only to harness the power of AI for good, but also to protect people from its profound potential risk." Based on research and guidance from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, the executive order is felt to be the biggest policy initiative about AI that is being taken by any government. DC leaders have unveiled a new facility Monday where people who struggle with addiction can go to get help any day of the week at any time. The facility on K Street in Northeast, which is being called the Stabilization Center, offers immediate help on the spot to those of at least 18 years of age, including medication and counseling. People who go there will also get connected with long-term care and other resources and programs that support recovery, as it is free and there is no insurance or residency requirements. Mayor Muriel Bowser commented saying, quote, "There is no one-size-fits-all solution, but we are happy that we have this facility now in our toolbox." The D.C. Attorney General's office has filed a lawsuit against 14 of the district's largest landlords and property management software company RailPage, alleging they used the technology to illegally raise rents for thousands of residents. The landlords named in the suit are among the biggest names in multifamily and real estate investment, and some include Avenue 5 Residential, Equity Residential Management, and JPG Smith Properties. The companies artificially inflated rents for more than 50,000 apartments across the district, costing renters millions of dollars.
Thank you, Curtis, for that update on news around the DMV and the nation. And I am really glad at this point to bring on our first guest, Carrie Clark, who's the executive director of the Family Life Center at the Greater Mount Calvary Church in Washington, D.C. And Carrie, I think we talked once before, maybe it was last year, and glad to have you back again. Gosh. How are things going? I know that you all are busy over there serving families. Tell us a little bit of background about the center.
Sure. Well, the Family Life Community Center has been operating on Rhode Island Avenue for over 20 years now. We focus on providing wraparound services and programs for the community. So, looking at what needs we're seeing and targeting partners and collaboration so that we can effectively meet the needs of the people. We also have under our umbrella the Crowder Owens Food Bank, and we have been seeing just unbelievable growth in our numbers over this past year. Especially, it's been climbing, I guess, since COVID. But this year, really, our numbers have been staggering as far as the growth of families who are in need of food. And over the last 3 months, we've had the opportunity to provide free groceries for over 46,000 people. So it's been a busy, busy time over at 605 Rhode Island Avenue Northeast.
You know, the average business or entrepreneur is always happy to talk about growth in numbers, but where you all are located, it's not. I mean, in the business that you're in, it shows that our system is really fractured, and so many families are falling through the cracks. Can you tell us a little bit about the people that you are serving, and where the greatest need is?
I would say that we've really seen a shift this year to a younger population. So in the past, a lot of the efforts were towards seniors, those who were on fixed incomes, those who might be shut in, might not have access to get to grocery stores and whatnot. But we are seeing, after COVID, we saw a large increase in working class. As the prices began to increase for groceries, we saw that we had a lot of folks who were just getting off of work and coming in because they needed something to supplement. But now we're really seeing a lot of young families, a lot of young people who may not have families, but are in some sort of transitional housing, trying to, get on their feet. The unhoused, we're seeing such an incredible need for housing, transitional housing, housing support. So really, I would say that our crowds are very, very diverse. We've seen a huge increase in our immigrant population as well. So we're really just seeing a great amount of diversity. One day I was at the center on a Saturday, and somebody came. I could tell that they were looking on their map or the GPS on their phone. And this young lady had literally just gotten off of a plane coming in. She was a Ukrainian transit. And so it's just, we've seen just an incredible diverse population, from young to old, different ethnicities, just people who are really in need of some support in the area of food.
And now, I mean, tis the season when it's all about food and family and friends,
Right.
and so what kind of pressure, if I should say, does that put on you all as you begin to try to serve this period when there's such a greater need?
I would say it's not so much pressure, because we have truly seen that our efforts never go without our needs being met, right? So I'm not really necessarily feeling the pressure so much, as we just really look forward to blessing the socks off of people, right? Like, we just want to do it well. We want people to come in. We want people to feel great when they walk through the doors. We want them to receive an abundance. We really, take great pride. I say that gently, but we take great pride in being able to offer just like an abundance of food. So a turkey and fresh, greens and potatoes and carrots and onions and stuffing and all the fixings. And then again at Christmas time, we do the same thing. We allow for our people who are our regulars to come in, and we allow for them to do Christmas shopping, and we provide brand new things in boxes, air fryers, doll houses, bikes. So I wouldn't say there's so much pressure. It's an exciting time. It's just really we really look to the community and to donors to help us during this time, to ensure that we're able to be the blessing that we intend to be.
So that's where we'll transition to how the community can actually pour those blessings
Yep.
upon you
Yeah.
all. What are some
Yeah.
of the things that you're going to need for the holiday, and how can people contribute or donate?
Okay. So we're coming up on Project Feed 5,000. That's our Thanksgiving giveaway. And our focus for those who might be interested in supporting us is turkeys. Turkeys are really hard for us to come by in large quantities. They're difficult for us to get our hands on. So we're just asking people to donate turkeys. And you can connect with us by going to our website at flccdc.org. We are able to accept donations 6 days a week. Again, we're at 605 Rhode Island Avenue. And there's also opportunities for sponsorships, partnerships. So if you're not going to actually bring the turkeys, we do have opportunities for donors, and we welcome any support that we're able to get. So 6 days a week, we're available for donations. And the event itself will be on Tuesday, November 21st. So we'll be gearing up prior to that.
Wonderful. Well, Carrie, I'm so glad that you were able to join us today and share not only the great work, but to make that appeal. We hope that folks who are watching will go ahead and support the program there. And we're all going to do something to help somebody. Like they say, pay it forward this holiday season.
Thank you, Denise. I appreciate it. Nice chatting with you again.
Likewise. Take care.
You too.
So we're going to transition quickly. I mean, we're talking about feeding souls, but we're also talking about protecting souls. And so it's my pleasure actually to bring on this gentleman who I met not too long ago. His name is Keith Collins. He's an information systems security manager for a cybersecurity firm. And Keith, I mean, is the man who can help us to figure out how to not let these machines get in the wrong hands, or information get in the wrong hands, and people to abuse us. That's what they do. They abuse us, Keith.
Absolutely.
So, welcome to Let's Talk. And
Thank
so
you, Denise.
let's talk about cybersecurity. You know, how did you get into this business?
Well, I used to be in the military. I was military intelligence for the Army. So I kind of went from Intel into IT, and it just kind of grew from there. I've been doing project management for the military, and still doing a little bit now, doing something for the Navy. But this is how I grew.
Yeah, you were I guess gracious enough to come to a conference I attended in um, where was it? Fort Lauderdale? No, in I don't know where it
Nashville.
was. Thank you. I'm not sure where it was.
Nashville.
In Nashville, Nashville, and left the whole room sort of thinking about what we need to do to protect ourselves on digitally. So, I mean, if we don't have a lot of time, and I do want to make sure that you get a chance to really talk about some highlights of what folks need to be doing, particularly at this time during the holiday season.
Right.
You have some tips for us.
Yeah, so now it's about to be the holiday time. And I always speak from a perspective of a hacker. So what I would look for is those mistakes that people make. I'm gonna send you phishing emails. I'm gonna send you text messages, which is called smishing. I'm gonna use AI to send you those voice messages called vishing. And we're looking for you to make mistakes. We're looking for you to click on those links that we send you, those emails. Because once you click on that one link, that's how I get you, because that link has been programmed to send me information from your computer or your device, right? So since everybody's going to be shopping online now, everybody wants to buy get ahead of the game and get their stuff from Amazon and all those other places. You're going to see all kinds of discounts and coupons coming. Well, they may not be legit. So, you got to be paying attention. And part of what I do is I promote this cyber awareness. So cyber awareness training is necessary now, but in the past it's been so robotic. Organizations say, okay, you got to take this annual awareness training once a year, twice a year. Well, I'm trying to make it personal. So I'm making it where you understand that as a hacker, what am I going to look for, and what do I want from you? So one of the things that I teach people is that they say, well, I'm not a target because I don't have any money. I don't have anything that, anybody wants. That's not true. You may be the catalyst for something bigger. So I'm going to go into the weakest point I can, and I'll just ride it out until something happens. And I don't need to sit behind a computer to do that. We have AI now. AI can take care of all of that for us. And hackers have AI just like everybody else now. So
Wow.
My goal is to just wait it out and see what kind of mistakes you make. If you're going to pass on that coupon that I sent you, you're going to send it to your friend. Now I got you and her, or you and him. So that's the kind of thing that happens when it's this time of year, is that people just want to get things done and they lose focus on protecting themselves, because everybody's a target, no matter what you think you have or you don't have.
Well, I hope, that a lot of times our program, folks watch it after the fact. And if there are folks that are watching right now, I would, you got a moment to ask your questions. But, a lot of people are traveling. This is another thing you shared with us. And we're in airports. And
Right.
is there something we ought to do with our cell phones or our computers when we're in airports? Because you talked about how people can actually, easily tap into your devices. What would you recommend?
Absolutely. So what the hackers use is called a Wi-Fi pineapple. And what that is, it's a Wi-Fi device that mimics your regular Wi-Fi. So when you go to the airport or Starbucks is usually the typical scenario, I'll set it up to look like the Wi-Fi access point so you can get on the websites that you want to get to. But you're going to go through me. And while you're going through me, I can extract whatever information that I want to program to get from you. So I suggest when you go to these airports and places that you connect to Wi-Fi, is you don't use the Wi-Fi, especially public Wi-Fi. You should use your data plan on your phone or your tablet. That's just the best and safest way to do it.
Wonderful. And that's good news, because never, a lot of people may do that. A lot of us may not know to do that, right? We're just
Mhm.
trying to get on the internet. We've got, 2 hours to sit in a place, and how
Right.
can I get on? So that's really interesting. And then also, um, how would a person know whether their information has been breached? I know, banks are trying to do a better job at this, and we're hearing every day about breaches in government um, institutions, voter registration rolls, school board,
Mhm.
uh, uh, school rolls.
School
I mean, what
districts,
have
yeah.
you? Thank you,
Mhm.
thank you. So, I mean, how would one know, if their information has been? I don't want to use
Well,
the word hacked, but what's the word that I'm trying to find?
breach
Breached.
organizations are
Thank you.
usually breached.
Hmm.
So you'll know after it happens, which is the problem. You'll continue to get other emails trying to get you to do other things, like click on other links. You may find that your money's missing. You Organizations usually don't find out until after it happens. The breach has been sometimes a year or two long. And this is what I was saying is now hackers don't want to tear up your laptop and your phone. What they want is to sit there, collect information off of you, socially engineer you so they can see what kind of person you are, websites you go to, and they're going to target you that way. So
Wow.
breaches are once you're breached, it's kind of too late, but there's ways around that. You just have to know, what your daily interactions are, who you interact with on a daily basis, and not accept those weird phone calls and text messages and things of that
So,
nature.
yeah, are there any settings that we should put on our phones or computers that would really protect us, that you could
Well,
recommend?
yes, social media websites offer protection, but I suggest on all devices you should use a virtual private network, or VPN. You'll have to obviously pay for that through whatever service provider it is, but you also need to have multiple antivirus and malware protections on your devices. If you have one, that's great, but you need more than one. You have to have a layered approach to keep the hackers out, because once they break the first layer, you have nothing else after that, then they're in easy. Virtual private networks kind of help with that too, because it puts you on your own tunnel to communicate with whatever the endpoint destination is.
And so, if you're with a phone company, and you said there's a cost for that, right?
Mhm.
Is it consumer affordable? You know what I mean? And do you talk to your phone company about it? Is you just call your, whoever your provider is, and have that conversation with them?
Right. Well, typically your provider is going to have their own layer of protection. Each industry or each business does,
Okay.
but that's your first layer of protection. Your second layer should be something like a McAfee, Norton Antivirus, AVG. There's several different organizations out there where you can have a one package deal where you get the VPN, your browser protection, your antivirus, and your malware protection all in one. It does cost, but I always tell people, would you rather give up your bank account, or would you rather spend $20 a month to protect that bank account? Because once I get in and you have no protection, if I do get in your bank account and take your money, you just lost all of what you had. Or an
Yeah.
organization loses all their proprietary information, and there goes that money.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's a lot to think about during the holidays. But that's one reason why I wanted to bring you on, because I want people to really recognize that this is serious, and it's
It
getting
is.
more and more serious about, just how the need for us to protect ourselves on digital devices and what have you.
Absolutely.
Um, Anything else you want to share with us that might be a good tip?
Well, just pay attention. AI is coming out now, and it is a tool that you can use for good, but it is also a tool that can be used for bad. And it's just an extra uh, technology that we have to pay attention to. And you saw Biden just implemented some new rules and laws to try to get a grip on that. And we have to make sure that the consumers are paying attention as well, because that's where it's going to start.
Right, right. So, Keith, how can folks reach you if we have, and I'm sure folks will have more questions that we weren't able to talk about today. I see
Yep.
Chevry has put
Yep.
your
There it is.
information up, and you got a phone number there and an email,
Yeah,
so they can
absolutely.
just call you or email you.
Absolutely. Yes, that's how you get in touch with me.
Wonderful. And if there are organizations out there that would like for you to come and maybe give a talk on, cyber security, are you available for that as well?
I'm available to do that. Yes, I do presentations and cyber awareness training as well as AI training.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Good. Thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
a little time with us today and helping us to stay aware.
Thank you.
All righty. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Yeah.
All righty. Yeah, so as James Wright said, this is crazy. It is crazy, but we have to be aware. We have to learn to protect ourselves. We have to really sort of decipher or determine whether we want to open up these emails or not. And if you do open an email and they tell you, you want to click onto this, don't click. Don't click. Don't click unless you feel safe and secure that this is someone or information you are expecting, and you have someone you can call to verify. It's a crazy world out there now that we're in, and it's going to get crazier. So just want to tell you all, just wanted to provide you with resources that would be helpful. Now we're going to bring on, the a state's attorney of all times, Attorney Amy Griffin, who does wills and estates, and is always. I have to say, it's been wonderful to have her as a partner in the Washington Informer. She provides regular columns and information for us. But you're going to do something different this month, Amy. Welcome to WIN TV.
Thank you so much, Denise. And I'm so thrilled to be connected to anything that you're a part of.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hopefully, Keith had some advice for you as well.
I wish I had known heard this last month, because that's before I clicked on it.
It happens to all of us. So Veterans Day is coming up in about a week. So tell us, you've got a program planned for vets in the DMV. So tell us what you're going to be doing.
I'm so excited. We have created this nonprofit called the Association of Black Estate Planning Professionals. What we know is that we lose so much of our wealth with, by not having an estate plan, not being able to process or pass assets through. And what we know is that we can do better together. So we are targeting 100 Black veterans to do an estate plan that can preserve their, at least, manage their wealth, their real property, as well as to get their affairs in order. We don't need to be fighting, our loved ones because we didn't get our stuff straight. So pulling together attorneys throughout the community, as well as trying to get Black veterans out. We're calling this campaign the Wills for Heroes.
I love it. And so, where is this is it going to take place physically? Is it virtual? How are you going to help folks?
Yeah, we're physically going to be at the Chevy Chase Pavilion. That is where the Cheesecake Factory is, at 5335 Wisconsin Avenue. So Saturday at 10 a.m. we will be there.
And so that's metro accessible.
It's absolutely the Friendship Heights Metro Station. Just come right upstairs.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so, would veterans have to register first, or can they just show up?
Register? Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it makes it easy. It makes it easier for us to manage, and it's going to creatingalegacyconference.com.
Okay, creatingalegacyconference.com.
Creating a Legacy Conference,
and they can register there.
Yes, and no, again, this is free.
The capital F. Creatingalegacy.com.
Creatingalegacyconference.com.
Okay. All right. Chevy's trying to put that up on the screen for us. So creatingalegacyconference.com. And
yes,
I think legacy is an interesting word, right? Because there are people out there that feel as though they don't have a legacy. They don't have anything. So why would I want to come or pretend that I'm going to create a legacy when I don't have one? But they're incorrect, right, Amy?
That's right. And I say to people, there's so much one that we don't even know, that we're not mindful of, that we take for granted so much stuff. We think of, okay, yeah, I'll die on nothing, but you'll be sick, right? You want to make sure somebody can make a decision for you. We want to make sure, like your house, your home, your car, we all typically have stuff, but the most important part is we have a life that we need to preserve and protect, and be thoughtful about how do we strategically make sure that our loved ones are cared for in a way that makes the most sense, right? We don't want there to be any confusion when they're grieving, to add it on top of the layers of a whole bunch of stress.
Are there any limitations on folks that you're going to help? I mean, is there anything? Because I would hate for somebody to get there and you say, well, because of this, I don't think we'll be able to help you.
No, if they have residence in DC, Maryland, or Virginia, we're gonna start off by giving an education of what it looks like, what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, right, and what's important. And so that's where we're going to start, and then we're going to set up the appointments and pair them with attorneys so that they will have an attorney. So we'll ask for basic information so that we can start the process. We're not going to have everything done, but we're going to have everything laid out so we know what to do.
Mm-hmm. And I guess lastly, one of the things that I think we've all are trying to do, not only in Washington, D.C., but across the country, is to really emphasize the importance of ironing out your estate, of having a will or a trust. Can you say to us again, I mean, you talked about it a little bit earlier, but why those are so important especially for the Black community?
It's especially important for the Black community because we think about the racial wealth gap and how it's continuing to grow, right? Because we're losing our property, and that we're going through the probate process. If we don't identify who gets what, where, when, and how, and then it's going to go through the way they want it to, and it's going to, they being the state, right? And their efficiency is the model, as opposed to we're trying to protect and grow our wealth. And so we need to be thoughtful about, first and foremost, one of the goals that we have all of the folks who are coming through with Wills for Heroes is we're going to be focusing on how do we avoid probate, especially with your real property, right? Because if you have, let's say you've passed away, you have a house, but you have debt, hospital bills or something, what they're going to do is sell your assets in order to pay for your debts. However, if your house doesn't go through probate, they're not going to be able to sell it for that purpose, right? And so that's why we want to make sure that we're strategically aligning with folks to make the difference, right? And so, we're going to give you the foundational stuff, and you can, and we want to make sure we give you the education to make sure that you can avoid and build, because we really want to, it's not just starting with you, but it's ending with your children's children, right? Your children's children, because we're trying to create multi-generational wealth building. You may not have wealth now, but we can create it if we're planning.
I like that. We can create wealth if we're planning, because that's how it's happened. I mean, historically, that's how it's happened. And, it's just that we always end up having to go back to home plate, where others, build on home plate, then the first and then the second, pretty soon you got a home run and the family has wealth. They've got wealth. So this is great. I appreciate you coming on and sharing this with our viewers. I'm hoping folks will turn out tomorrow. Can you give us one more time where it's going to be?
No, next Saturday, the 11th, Veterans Day, the 11th.
Thank you. See, that's why I said do it one more time. Folks will be sitting out there tomorrow saying, Denise said that I have to wait a whole week.
And the Cheesecake Factory is there, but you don't want to eat there for a week. But yes, so check us out on creating a legacy conference.com and to register, and then we'll give with your email address and phone number, and we will follow up with you to give you the reminders and all of that sort of stuff, because we look forward to, again, we know that we're building strong communities one family at a time. Right. So we are investing in y'all because it invests in us.
Love it. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it, Amy.
Thank you so much.
All right. And I hope that you get the 100. That would be awful if we don't, but hopefully we'll get 100 veterans taken care of, and get ready for the next 100.
Excellent. Thank you.
All righty. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, gosh, we're moving right along here. If you heard that announcement from Amy Griffin, you know a veteran, you don't know whether they have their affairs taken care of, pass the word on to them. Please be that messenger. We've given you the information. We want you to pass the word on. We want those veterans to be able to build a legacy for their families. And so each one of us has to do our job to make sure that that happens. I don't know if you all have had a chance to see the latest Martin Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. I fortunately read the book, saw the film, but what was most exciting to me was to know that our very own, I'm claiming him, Frederick Yonay, a harmonicist, was tapped to do the soundtrack for that film. And he is here with us today to talk about that experience, that opportunity, and, you know, representing DC. How you doing, Fred?
Good morning, Denise. Long time no see. How have you been?
I've been doing well, kind of following you on, you know, different places where I can follow you, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. And when that release came through and said, "Did you know?" I was like, oh, I was so excited. Tell us about, well, I don't know where to start, because I know we're talking about the harmonica, and we're going to go back and talk about that. But just, you know, doing a soundtrack for a film that is slated to actually be nominated for an Academy Award. What does all this mean to you?
So I think I need to be clear about one thing. I worked with Robbie Robertson on the
Okay.
soundtrack, and
Okay. All right.
he's the music director.
I don't know Rodney. I know you.
Oh my God.
But go ahead. Let's give him his due.
So to answer your question, no, it's an honor being. This is the second time that Robbie and Scorsese decided to attribute a character to the harmonica. Wow. And to really feature the instrument as a spirit, as another element that you don't necessarily see on the screen, but you definitely feel it. So it's an honor to have been the guy who performed that, who played that performance, has that.
Yeah, you know, Fred, a lot of DC's full of talent, right? And, you know, most, you know, what we kind of focus on in our city, you know, is go-go and hip hop and all that. Yeah. And folks don't even think about, I don't know if they do, but I'm saying they don't even think about where their talent can take them beyond, you know, I mean, it can take them so many places. And you've been out here for a while. How long have you been performing now? For what, about 30 years?
Oh my gosh, I've been playing the harmonica for, oh my gosh, it feels like forever. I've been in DC for half of my life, 25 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen each other roaming around some of those events for a long time now.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, thanks. Long time. Okay.
You and I both.
You're right. But how did Rodney and the folks, you know, in Hollywood discover you?
So I met Robbie Robertson at a party in the Hamptons years back, and I think it was Larry Gargosian's house, the art dealer, and we had casual conversation, you know, on music. I didn't realize who he was, even when they reached out to us for The Irishman. They wanted a harmonica. He and Scorsese had the conversation. They clearly wanted a harmonica to play on the soundtrack, on the theme song, and throughout the movie. But they wanted, you know, the classical chromatic harmonica, which is a harmonica Stevie Wonder is playing. You know, the big instrument with a button on the side. That sounds just like a piano. It has all 12 notes of the piano on it. What I play is this little thing right here. It's called a diatonic harmonica, and that harmonica only has half of the notes you have on the piano. So I basically distort the harmonica with a technique that comes from my throat and my tongue and my lips, and I create all the missing notes that the chromatic harmonica delivers and that the piano has, but this one doesn't. I basically artificially create all those notes and bring them to life, which allows me to actually create even more emotions with my instrument. I can really morph the sound of sometimes a voice, a violin, a guitar, or I can just have a wider range and sound like a drum beat, or and use my breath to give it more life. And I think that this is when they decided, wait a second, we had a good idea here, but there's an opportunity here to bring even more soul and more life to what we're really trying to create. And this is the beauty of their process. They shoot the film at the same time as the music is being recorded, and they have conversations between, but they don't necessarily, go back and forth. Once the music and the movie are produced, then they start putting the story together. And in this case, I think my ability to bring more texture, more soul, and more life through the instrument inspired them to create another character and really to emphasize the Grim Reaper in The Irishman and the spirit of greed in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing collaboration and partnership and how it all comes together. And just to see the film, but to hear that other character that you're talking about brings so much dimension and emotion to this film. How long have you been playing the harmonica? And I mean, did you ever see it when you first picked it up that this was something you wanted to do for the rest of your life?
That's a very good question. I picked up this instrument when I was when I was a teenager, and I grew up with asthma, so I always carried an inhaler in my pocket. And when I picked up this instrument, slowly the harmonica started taking place of the inhaler.
Wow.
And I realized that the more I was playing the instrument, the better my health was getting. The more friends I was making, because I mean, come on, go ahead. This is an instrument that is so friendly. It fits in your pocket. It's amazing because when you play it, it disappears behind your hand. So it has this magical aspect to it, and then all those sounds come out of you don't know where. This whole experience. So I've been doing it for most of my career and most of my life. And it's been an amazing friendship.
Where has it taken you besides, to Hollywood? That's a good place, but where else has it taken you? I know you again performed here in DC, but it sounds like this harmonica, this instrument has taken you around the globe.
Absolutely, and it still is. I was honored to tour with Prince for 3 years, Stevie Wonder as well on the Songs in the Key of Life anniversary tour. He invited me to play the harmonica parts that he couldn't play himself while he was singing. Because believe me, if Stevie could have figured out a way to do both, he would have done it himself. But but no, he invited me to be a part of that tour. I performed with Ed Sheeran in the UK, and recently in New York, he came to my show and surprised my audience at the Blue Note.
Wow.
It's taken me to Asia, Africa, back to Europe for the premiere of the movie of Killers of the Flower Moon. I went back to Cannes to watch the movie in the most prestigious movie theater of my country during the film festival. So it's been an amazing experience.
And tell us about the instrument itself. We were talking a little bit earlier. When we think about the harmonica, it has deep roots in the African American community and maybe even beyond. But tell us a little bit of history about the instrument itself.
Well, the instrument is the invention of the free reed, which are those little blades that are vibrating inside the instrument when you exhale and inhale. It's a century-old invention from China, and the German decided to use this instrument to create some basically lighter version of the piano. And they decided to use those little reeds, put them on a comb, like you see right here on the screen. And they basically displayed some of the reeds facing me and some of the reeds facing the opposite direction. Put that in a big souffle contraption and created the accordion.
Okay.
And of course, growing up in France, the accordion is very, very popular over there. Again, it's a cheaper piano. So the sound of the accordion, the sound of the free reed has always been in my culture, in my ear, and always triggered something in me. And then later on, the Germans decided, you know what, why don't we take these parts of the accordion and make it smaller and create a way so we can just carry that even smaller instrument in our pocket. And they basically designed the only instrument that allows you to play music by exhaling and inhaling. So you can breathe with this instrument for hours and hours and hours, and everybody's looking at you like, how is it not turning blue?
Right. We hear a lot of harmonicas in blues music, and when we think about music from the past, I mean, harmonica is a critical instrument there, in addition to banjos and what have you. But just I wanted you to share a little bit about that, but also, is there a growing number of what do you call them?
Harmonicists.
Are you birthing newer harmonicists? Have you seen more younger people picking up the instrument?
Yeah, I do witness a lot of growth in the instrument on social media. I see a lot of kids from Germany and Eastern Europe picking up the instrument and pushing it to adapting it to the music they love, which is really the key.
Yeah.
If you figure out a way to incorporate it as something that is relevant to you, then it will be relevant to others. You're absolutely right when you said the harmonica has been featured in a lot of blues music. Back, I think when the Marines in 1850s, the Marines had a harmonica in their package. And most of these soldiers didn't know what to do with it, so they decided to just give it away along their roads and along their journeys. Give it away to people who could not afford to purchase an instrument, and this is how it ended up in our hands.
Wow, amazing. So now we have the opportunity to see you soon here in Washington, D.C. Tell us about your upcoming event.
And I hope you will be able to join us, because your name will be at the door.
God, I feel special. Okay.
Oh, please.
So
But definitely,
my daddy said, I want Lottie Dottie and everybody there. So tell us about the event.
There you go. You never know who's going to show up, by the way, because it's going to be a hot weekend. So I will be at the Carlisle Room on I Street. I think it's 1350 I Street Northwest.
Okay.
And I'm doing 2 shows, both on Friday, December the 1st, and Saturday, December the 2nd.
Okay.
7 and 9:30 on Friday, and 6:30 and 8 p.m. on Saturday.
Well, we have it posted here on the screen. We definitely want folks to come and see you in person, because the next time we see you might be on our TV screens in Los Angeles, bracing for that award. Well, your harmonica will get it. Does your harmonica have a name? I didn't think about that. Does it have a name?
There's too many. There's too many of them in that little box right here. So
okay. All right.
You can hear them.
I can.
They're clapping for you.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, I look forward to that. I really thank you for taking a couple of minutes to talk with us. I'm looking forward. I know you're going to be on Let It Be Known a little bit later today with Stacey Brown. He's watching now, I think, trying to figure out what questions to ask that I didn't. And so I'll be watching that as well. But thank you for being Frederick Young. Thank you so much for being with us. Yeah. And good luck. And any new projects coming up?
I'm come to the Carlisle and check out the this album that's going to come out soon,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Denise. All
All
the best.
right. Keep up the great musical work. So that was really good. That was an honor for me to talk to Fred Yone. Like he says, I've known him for years and just admired him as a person seated in the audience, watching his performance. So if you can get to the Carlisle, go ahead and check it out, and I will see you there on one of those evenings, if not two. So last, but of course, definitely not least, I just want to say that our last guest is unavailable for us right now. So we're going to bring her on because we want to still talk about, women and women-owned businesses. Of course, the Washington Informer is one, but there are lots of organizations and companies and women who I think are doing tremendous, tremendous work. And so Keith is here. He's still here. Oh, well, Keith, we might have to we got a little time left. We've got about 5 minutes left. So I don't know if there's anything that we left out. And you probably said, I should have talked to Denise about that. So wanted to get you back to talk a little bit more about cybersecurity. And what did we miss?
I think the biggest thing that I'm noticing is the mindset. A lot of what I try to teach with cyber awareness training is we have to focus on protecting the information before we actually do our work. A lot of times what happens is people you get in a rut, not a rut, but a routine, and it's go, go, go. And that's how I'm going to get you, because I'm going to send you something in the middle of the day, and you're just going to click on this link from somebody you think is your friend. And after you look at it at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I don't know this person. So I think we have to have a mindset of just slowing down a little bit and not let the day take over.
There are companies out there that sometimes know more about you than you know than you know that you've let out.
Right.
And so they may send you a note that for example, there's one that I see a lot. UPS or FedEx is about to deliver a package.
Right.
And you haven't ordered anything.
Yeah.
But they say that they need you to click onto something because just to confirm that you're going to be able to receive it. I never do that because I never order it.
Right.
Is that one of the that falls into what category?
That's part of if it's an actual text message, it's smishing because it's sent over SMS. But that is a real thing, and people are excited to get a package in the mail. That's how I get you to make a mistake. You just like, oh, I got a free package. Well, what is it?
Yeah.
So same thing. And I think I used a scenario when we were in Nashville, just to talk about small businesses. There was a church that had a building fund. I think I told you guys about this. They raised about $700,000, and it took them $300,000. It took them 7 years to raise this money. Well, they had a computer that wasn't protected, and it took one email. The email came out on a Friday that the construction company, from what they thought was a construction company, and the administrator came in on Monday. She saw the email, and she immediately sent the money to what she thought was a construction company, but it wasn't. So the construction company reached out after that money was gone and said, hey, we haven't been paid yet. So she looked back at her email, and it's this whole big shenanigans of trying to figure out what happened, but it was too late. It was only a Friday email, and she sent the money on Monday, and that was it. And they still haven't got it back.
Yeah. There's a lot of that goes on. And so I feel bad for that administrator. I know she's still having nightmares about that, and the churches too. I don't blame her. It just it happens. So I think that's why this conversation is so very important. So I'm glad that you were still here, and we are going to get you back to talk about this a little bit more. And thanks for kind of holding on while we came back to you. But we'll get back and have more of this discussion. Hopefully we'll get questions from our viewers, who specific questions that we can send to you, and we can have that conversation. Thanks again.
Thanks, Denise.
All righty. Talk to you soon. I thought we were going to miss out on my conversation with Daryl McKissick, but she is here. She's just a busy, busy, busy woman. That's all. And so she said, let me sit down and talk to Denise for a minute. Welcome to Win TV, Daryl, or Let's Talk. How are you?
I am great, Denise. How are you today?
Doing good, doing good. Like that background there, and it's really nice. It's nice. So tell us about what your the family legacy. What inspired you to pursue a career in architecture, engineering, construction? Was it because, like me, it's what your family did, or were you really interested?
I feel like it was in my blood. So,
Mhm.
it's what my family did. But as you know, we all are individuals and we can pick and choose how we want to, where we want to go and what we want to do. So, but I do feel like it was in my DNA. It was in my blood.
Yeah.
And because I love the industry. I get a lot of energy from the work that I do. So I know that I'm fulfilling my purpose being in the AEC industry.
Tell me, so folks will know. A lot of people know who you are. They know the McKissick name, but what are some things that you can point to that are some of the projects that we may pass by and not even recognize that they're something you all have done?
Okay, well, we were the lead design builders for the Martin Luther King Memorial on the National Mall. We were the project managers for the African American Museum, the Smithsonian African American Museum on the National Mall. We designed the inaugural stands for the last 4 presidential inaugurations. We worked on the Obama Presidential Library for 5 years. We did a lot of the upfront design management of that project. MGM, we were the project managers for MGM, and
Wow.
yeah. And then DC Schools, which is near and dear to my heart because of what we're doing to enhance the lives of the kids and the residents of Washington, DC. For almost 20 years, we've been working on the school program, which, Denise, 20 years ago, our schools were in a very bad state.
Oh yeah.
And finally, we got the money to do something. And at first, they brought in the Corps, but the Corps is used to building stuff for wartime, not our children. So that was kind of $1 billion that was kind of not spent in its best and highest use. And then we received another $3 billion, and they decided to work with local companies to get it done. And
Well,
so I'm very proud of what we've done there.
oh yeah, I mean, to me, like you said, we started having buildings with no windows. What?
Right,
How do you
right.
teach kids with no windows? I mean, as a kid, I used to remember spending a whole lot of time at the window, looking at the seasons change and what was going on outside. So now it's amazing to see, these huge. Is that part of the mark that McKissick has put on these buildings now, that they're more open and visible inside out?
Right. Well, we were the program managers for many, many years and still are on many of the projects. We managed the whole program in the beginning, and the idea was that we were going to touch every school to make it a safe, warm, clean, and more of a friendly environment.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there were a lot of other schools that were rebuilt, renovated, and at this point, excuse me, I think I'm fine. So we have hit most of the schools and getting a whole new building.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Sounds like someone's drilling behind you or something.
I know.
Raising the dust, raising the dust. So, one of the things that, I think about often, I mean, you're a woman-owned business. And how, I've had that question asked of me, what does it mean to be a woman business owner? And as a Black woman, is there one priority you place over the other? I mean, how does it, What does it mean?
I think I'm gonna have to stop and get some water, Denise. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. No, I got it. I want you to
I something
do
in my
that.
throat. Excuse
So
me.
you do that. I'll keep chatting with myself a little bit here.
Sorry, this will take 2 seconds.
Because Chevy has stepped away also. So yeah, but if you all are aware of McKissick and just to think of all of the work that they've done in the DC area and also probably outside of the District of Columbia. It's a family-owned business, and Daryl can tell us a little bit more about the legacy of her family and how how the family initially got into the business of architecture. You better?
I feel better. So, being a woman in this business, in a male-dominated business, but not just a male-dominated business, a white male-dominated business, um, has been interesting, I must say. But I had a very strong mother who always told me that being a woman is a plus and that I could not excel acting like a man because I'm not one. I'm a woman and I should act like a woman and I know how to do that very well.
Okay.
Use that, because they're not used to it. So I think that staying true to who I am and not letting others define who I am has helped me navigate being a woman in this space. But I never know if it's coming because I'm a woman or because I'm Black. I deal with both on a regular basis. So the two have to go hand in hand because, Black people are truly underrepresented in our industry.
Right.
And so, it's easier. It's easier if you're a white male moving up. I mean, I have been underestimated. I've been overlooked. I've gotten the wrong verdicts. I've not gotten the jobs I should have gotten. And a lot of it has to do is because I'm a minority.
Right. So moving forward, because we're kind of at time here, what advice would you give, let's say, younger women or men and women who are interested in pursuing the career path that you did, that want to get into the AEC industry?
Well, depending on what age they are, we have a lot of different organizations around the country, and local and national, that are trying to get more people into the AEC industry. And the reason why is because we have a need for 600,000 people in the next 10 years.
Wow.
This is the place to be. But unfortunately, our youth don't know about it. And right now we need workforce. This is the time when we're saying, at least I'm saying, it's time for us to use the underutilized people in America, which are the Black and brown kids. It's the women. Let's figure out a way to use that as a workforce and bring them into make it a pipeline of a workforce for us. And so I started a whole new organization called AEC Unites. And it does just that. It connects people with our industry. So wherever they are, whether it's a 6-year-old trying to not knowing what they want to do, but they see someone like me, and they're like, how do I do that one day? We can connect them with organizations that will work with them now. There are organizations that will pay for their college. I'm on the board of ACE Mentoring, where we are giving high school kids internships and then giving them real jobs when they graduate from college and working with them through college and giving them jobs in the summer. So there are just so many opportunities for our kids out there right now that we should take care of. And that's exactly what AEC Unites does. And that's just on one side. We have two pillars. One is workforce, and the other one is building Black business and really getting sustainable work for Black businesses.
Well, that's amazing. It's good. I mean, you've had a successful career, but you still recognize, where the gaps are. And now, you're taking those steps to bring more people into the profession, which I think is excellent and commendable. So we will track that and see how things are going and be a partner with you to try to direct people into the program and, just look to hear more great things from you.
All right, Denise. Well, thank you.
All righty, Daryl. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All righty. Really would have loved to have talked to her a little bit longer, but we've run out of time. I want to thank you all for staying with us. We will be back again next week. We'll be talking a lot about veterans on next Friday, looking at Veterans Day. If you have a veteran that you want to honor or have recognized, send that information to us at news@washingtoninformer.com. Again, that's news@washingtoninformer.com, or share it with us on Facebook or any of our social media channels. We are going to be saluting veterans in the DMV or those who are part of our Informer family. So we look forward to hearing from you. So until then, have a great weekend. Stay warm. It's getting chilly out here. And we'll see you next Friday. All righty.